So I realized I haven't really made a video yet of the trailer project I'm working on, and I think that might be a good idea so that I can upload it to YouTube, and it might be a little more user-friendly for anyone who wants to check it out or who's considering to build their own. So here it goes. This is a 5x8 enclosed aluminum siding cargo trailer. It's made by Interstate Trailers, and brand new. This particular model off the lot costs, I believe, $3,000. It's the one with the door on the side, and it has a vent already, which I think the door is a worthwhile investment because doors are expensive and they're also a pain in the butt to install. So a few extra bucks to get the door already made sense in my mind. I did not buy this trailer brand new. I bought it from a guy in Joshua Tree and paid $2,000 for it. So I think it was a good call. It's in really good condition and he barely used it. So I saved a little bit of money there. So it has a side opening door, which I want because I'd like to have a kitchen here in the back. I'm gonna put a wall between the front and the back, maybe 16 inches or so, and I'm gonna build out a little kitchen galley, maybe have a fold down table here. Not 100% decided on all that yet, but so here's what I've worked on so far. One of the first things I did was I replaced the Dexter leaf spring axle with Tim Britton axle suspension. So these provide independent suspension as well as significantly improved ground clearance because there's no axle. They have the long spindles on them, so I run big tires. I also put on 12-inch drum brakes, and you have the option when you're installing this of just beefing up the frame up here and not using this cross member. But I beefed up the frame with a 1/2 inch 2-inch by 3-inch tubing, and I still went with another, or excuse me, not 1/2 inch, sorry, 1/4 inch, and I still went with another 1/4 inch tubing per the specification. So I double beefed it up because I didn't want to take any chances. So yeah, that should be super solid. And that's kind of been the theme with this thing because I know I'm going to take it off road. So let me show you the tongue. So I plan on putting on an articulating hitch, and I'm using a max coupler, and that requires a receiver hitch on the trailer side as well. So I had to convert the traditional ball coupler that was here to a receiver hitch. So I was kind of looking into how to do that, and I decided to just send an email to Adventure Trailers, the company that makes the max coupler, and I said, hey, what's your guys's what do you recommend? Do you have any pictures? And they said, oh, well, what do you know? We actually make a plate that is laser cut to fit onto existing tongues, and it accepts a receiver hitch. So you can see the receiver hitch goes in through there, and just has the absolute crud welded out of it. So they sent me that for a price, of course, but I think it was well worth it. It's really strong, and there's so many so many spots to weld to. It's just really beefy, and but the thing is if you look in here, the way that this is welded is just, I mean, I don't know, it's just like the tubing ends, and there's a piece of angle iron that comes out to this tubing of the frame. I don't know, I think it looks pretty weak, and I don't know, I just don't really trust it, considering that I'm gonna be taking this thing off road and possibly putting it under more force than it's originally intended for. So I decided to beef it up and put a whole nother piece of 1/4 inch tubing all the way down to the cross member of the suspension here. So you can see that, and it's gusseted and welded, and then I welded a plate over top of it again. So all in all, I think the frame now is significantly more strong than it was, and I just put this little piece in here just as a kind of a spacer, I guess. It's not really doing all that much. I think most of the strength comes from the plate, but it's there. It's pretty thin walled, and I just got a jack here on the front, and it's just barely tall enough without a block to hold it almost level. So I think I want to get one that has a wheel. I made a mistake getting one that didn't have a wheel. It was kind of dumb. This diamond plate here, I'm gonna spray painted black, and it'll match my fenders, which I haven't showed you yet. So the fenders are, the ones that were on here didn't work, and I thought, why not make some? It'll be cheap and easy, and I was wrong there too. It was really a lot more expensive than I was expecting. I just kind of underestimated the amount of material. So the ones that were here wouldn't work. They're too small, and not just in like length front to back, but also width, because these tires are so huge. So I made these 14-inch wide, and they got 14 gauge sheet metal that's welded to 1-inch steel tubing, and I just rattle canned them the other day with a hammered metal, and which really didn't hammer out that much, but they look really good. And I'm just going to weld them onto the frame, and I think they'll provide some additional storage. I might bolt on some jerry can holders on the backside or something, I don't know. We'll see how that goes, but I'm really excited to put those on. That's one of the items I have left before this thing is, in my opinion, roadworthy. I got to put the fenders on, I got to get the brakes and the rest of the wiring done, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Actually, I got a whole list over here. Let me see. List of things that need to happen. Oh yeah, I gotta put the floor in. I guess I don't have to, but so I'm gonna do a piece of plywood in here. I haven't 100% decided what thickness, but I figure 1/2 inch probably be thick enough, but maybe 3/4, and then I'm gonna put in a layer of insulation. I got this Flex Seal stuff, you know, that as seen on TV, and I'm gonna coat the front and back, top and bottom of the plywood that I put in here with this stuff. And I figure it must work because it's seen some moderate success, and it's now sold at Home Depot, which is where I found it. Last thing I could think of, I put these receiver hitch tubing pieces on here, and then I got these jacks that I haven't painted yet that slide in, and that way I can just level out the rear of the trailer. The fenders stop right about here, so it's just enough to crank the jack, which is funny because I didn't think about that before, and then I had an oh shit moment when I realized that I might not have enough room to turn the jack, but thankfully it looks like I designed it to be that way. So anyways, that's about it. Oh, a couple other things. Okay, so this side, I'm not putting a roof rack on, but once I put in the walls and all that, I'm not gonna be able to easily retroactively add a roof rack or anything. So what I was gonna do is get a piece of angle aluminum, maybe like a 2-inch by 2-inch, and run that the full length and bolt that through to all the studs, just so that if the time comes that I ever want to add anything on that side, like say another awning, I will be able to. And so I won't have to worry about it corroding or anything, and I won't have to paint it. I'll just bolt it on. This side, I'm mounting this ARB awning. It's the 6-footer. It's gonna go on here, and I gotta come up with something creative, like a spacer or something like that, to get that to fit. I've got all these electrical components. I've got a 125 amp hour AGM battery. I've got an inverter. I've got all the hookups to the electrical to set up a charging system to connect to shore power, or just run off the battery and then potentially add solar later. So it's quite a project, and I think it's going to be a few more months of work. Depends. I don't know. I just work on it about 4 hours here, 4 hours there, and I'm doing my best. So we'll see. Here's Shelby, my dad's dog. Hey, she's scaredy. She's a rescue, and she just is afraid of everything. But she's a good girl. Anyways, thanks for watching my video. Kind of long-winded, but I had a lot to talk about. So my next videos will probably be shorter. Anyways, thanks again.